right, welcome back, everyone. J Bone here for Smash This podcast. Um, just tried to fire this up, and the page just would not go. I don't know what's going on with YouTube tonight. It's a little embarrassing. I apologize. Just trying to get this going here. Just be patient, man. All right, all right. Sorry, folks, for the glitchy, slow start here. Um, yeah. I was just hopping on here because my original plan for the evening was I was going to rewatch Dark Side of the Ring and do a review on the season finale of it's episode 6, the Fabulous Moolah story, and talking to Styles, and he was like, "Oh my God, did you see the news?" And we were talking about Ric Flair, and I'm like, "Well, as far as I heard, Ric Flair is fine. There's trolls out there saying he's dead. As far as I know, Ric Flair is not dead. Unfortunately, this news is true. Styles let me know that Ashley Massaro, former WWE women's wrestler, diva, they were, called divas back then. It is what it is. But passed away today at the age of 39. Um, Tragic. This woman was several years younger than me. She was 39. Unbelievable. Um, and it's a name we haven't heard about much lately. Her name was in the news a few months ago. She was training and planning on returning to the ring. I pulled up, well, first of all, I pulled up, this is courtesy of ringsidenews.com. I'll read this, and I'm sure other sites are going to have information about her. It says, "We are deeply saddened to learn of the death of Ashley Massaro. She was only 39 years old and was training for an in-ring return." And there's a link there to talk about what they had reported on a couple months ago about her wanting to return to the ring. The blast reports that Massaro passed away today. No cause of death is available at this time. That stuff usually comes out within the next month sometime. Weeks to a month, depending on the situation. It was reported that Suffolk County medical examiner in New York said that Mazzaro passed away on Thursday, May 16th. She was brought into their offices. Law enforcement had a rescue me call come in at 5:23 a.m. to her home in Smithtown, and she was then transported to a local hospital where she passed away. Police believe this was not a criminal act. Massaro was most famous for her run in WWE, where she was winner in the 2005 Diva Search. Oh, that goes back a bit, doesn't it? She also competed in Survivor. I looked up. That was Survivor China, I believe, is what it was, and graced the cover of Playboy during her life, among other men's magazines. Um, so yeah, incredibly sad. Yeah, yeah, true. Um, and like I said, it was a name that she that we haven't heard in a while. So I actually went back into the I went there. Wikipedia is not always the most reliable source, but it even says at the top this article is being heavily edited because its subject has recently died. Um, but we could talk about a few things here. Um, she started out. Oh, I'm not going to read this whole thing, but she competed in Miss Hawaiian Tropic pageants and was crowned Miss Hawaiian Tropic in 2002 and Miss Hawaiian Tropic Canada in August 2004. She appeared in HFM, Stuff, Maxim. I I used to buy those all the time when I was younger. And she was on the cover of Playboy after joining WWE. Um, she is a former Playboy model before she joined the WWE as well, I guess. Um, Flex. Okay, and it goes on to a couple other reality based TV shows where um, yeah, reality TV was just, so huge back then. Um, what's also sad is now I did not realize this. I don't know how many people know about this, but it says here in November 2016 she joined a class action lawsuit against WWE, and that all has to do with in ring injuries, neurological damage, and such. Also alleged that she was sexually assaulted at the U.S. military base during a WWE tour of Kuwait, and that WWE apologized but persuaded her not to report it to the proper authorities. That's very interesting. I mean, sad, but interesting. I never heard that before. I don't know how many people really know that or how much of that is actually, I don't want to say it's not true, but, it says alleged. So, I never heard any big news bits on that. So Diva Search 2005, just scrolling down the Wikipedia page, from New York, and I was looking at I clicked on the Diva Search, and I didn't recognize any of the other girls that she had competed against, but I do I distinctly remember Ashley Massaro because this was the third year that they were doing this, and she was the first one um that I really liked because I felt like she just looked like a punk badass. I mean, she looked tough, you know? I mean, she was pretty, but she also looked badass. She didn't just look like a bikini model. She portrayed herself as that, you know? Um, and then she actually went on to learn how to wrestle because there was some amateur wrestling history in her family. So she wanted to learn, which I give her a lot of credit because some of these divas really didn't do much in the ring. Some of them did pretty good. Like, I like to think about like Candice Michelle, who's from around here, around the Milwaukee area originally. She went on to be champ. I don't think Ashley went on to be champ. I'm just quick reading some of this. Feud with Vince's Devils and Mickey James from 2005 to 2000. and then she was on SmackDown from 2006 to 2007. Oh, some of these names now I'm starting to remember. Jillian Hall, Michelle McCool, of course, Mrs. Undertaker. Hmm. Yeah. And I'll always remember her for being, one of the more really fit, badass chicks. I mean, some of them, like I said, some of them went on to be pretty successful in the ring, but um, and she departed in 2008. A week prior to her release, she announced that she had asked to be let go from her contract due to her daughter being sick. So her daughter was okay. So her daughter was 8 at the time, or 7 or 8. Wow. So that's young when your kid is sick, and it doesn't say what she was sick with, but um, no, it doesn't say. But I mean, if you're asking for your release early, now granted it wasn't that early, but maybe that was just so she could get out of her contract. I don't know. I don't, not a big deal, but just a little side note thing in her story here. So, all right, let me jump in the chat here real quick. Oh, younger than both of us, bro. Yeah, sad news for sure. I don't think I will get over this death because she died so young. Yeah, it sucks when they die so young. I mean, if they lived a full life and they die elderly, it's one thing, but man, you know, it's only 3 days older than I, says Kid Skinner. Wow. Yeah, 30s. Geez Louise, way too young. 10 dies shy of her, 10 dies, yeah, sorry, 10 days shy from her 40th. Yeah. She started out managing Kendrick in London. Yeah, I saw those names mentioned in there. I didn't see exactly what was all involved, but yeah. More shit Vince swept under the rug. Yeah, I mean, there is a seedy side to wrestling. I'm not saying I'm not saying that is and that's okay. I'm just saying, yeah, there's a lot of things that we don't find out about in the wrestling world. I mean, a little more now because a little people are a little more vocal on social media, but say between 10 to 20 years ago, you didn't hear nothing. No, she wasn't a champion. It's the girls that go back that far, it gets a little fuzzy. Um, Said it was really bad when she has to retire so soon. Maybe it was she died so young. She was amazing. Yeah, I mean, she was prominent on social media and she was about to make a comeback. What kind of action figures do I have? I'm not gonna go into that now. Um, but I've got all sorts going dating all the way back to 2000 2002. Uh damn it. I was actually a fan from 2005. I can't believe she's passed away. Yeah. Hey Ronnie. Yeah. Ashley Massaro passed away at 39 years old. Hey, I'm new, showing love from Toronto, Canada. What happened to Ash? We don't have any details yet. Thank you for joining, but there's no cause of death. I guess she called. From what it says in the article, I'll just quick reread part of this again. Law enforcement said uh, They had a rescue me call at 5:23 a.m. to her home, and then she was reported to a local hospital where she passed away. And that's it. The police believe that this was not a criminal act. So and there's no other details. And I mean, I'm sure stuff will come out within the next few weeks, but weeks to a month, that stuff just takes time. As far as toxology, or whatever, you know, her daughter is almost 20 years old now, so I'm sure she'll she and her family will um be taking care of business, unfortunately. Now we'll left to wonder how she passed away for a while. Yeah, I mean, like I said, well, I'm sure we'll find out soon enough. Maybe heart attack. Women have different heart attack symptoms than men do. Yeah, I mean, yeah, men are different than women. What's their U page? I'll subscribe. All you gotta do is click at the bottom corner of the video, down at the right hand corner. There's a symbol down there. You can hit sub down there if you want. I appreciate it. I I'm not going to sit here and beg for subs during this time, but if you like to, that's where you can. Um, but the page has smashed this podcast. I remember when she was tagging with Trish and Mickey James against Candice, Victoria, and Tori. Oh man, those are some names. Hey, wow, what a division back then. Hey, I mean things were so different back then. There were some decent wrestlers, but man, there was just the way they were treated back then was so horrible. If just I'm saying compared to now, it was all panties and bras and lingerie and yeah, I think a good chunk of people appreciated that back then, but just compared to how it is now, it's like, man, it's come so far as the respect for women. Back then, it was just TNA, literally, Unfortunately, was she a blood sacrifice for Rick? I don't want to even think about that. As far as I know, Rick is fine, but then there's a million different reports from everything from he's absolutely a-okay to he's passed away. As far as I know, he's okay. He's supposed to have some kind of procedure within the next 24 hours, as far as I know. Will WWE say something? They already did. They already put a thing out on their page, and I'm sure they'll do some kind of tribute. Probably Monday Night Raw. They'll do a little something. Or did they stop doing that? I know they didn't do a couple that were expected. We'll have to wait and see. But there is stuff on their website. A little article, I'm sure. Now I want to see if WE is going to do something for Ashley, like a tribute video, or if they'll just ignore it. Yeah, I don't know. Some of these lately they're ignoring. I don't remember why I heard, but Ruben, I'm not talking about that right now. Thank you. Though. Blood Rain says, when my aunt died of a heart attack, instantly she complained of severe back pain. Yeah, you never know. I mean, health is weird. You could, you think you're having a heart attack, it could be heartburn. You never know. But the human body is a crazy thing. Braun panties. Yeah, that was crazy. Andre Corbeil, what is up? Found out from fans while I was in the middle of debunking the BS Ric Flair stories on the live stream. Yeah, I mean it's horrible what they're talking about Ric Flair. I mean he went in the hospital for a routine thing. TMZ blew it up like he was passing away, and there's even people out there saying that he has passed away. He hasn't passed away as far as I know. It's social media could be such a horrible thing sometimes. Actually had a few of those matches. Yeah. What's up, Professor J? I enjoyed you and TMZ and oh, you and I'm assuming you mean Trent. Trent on the Impact Lounge. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. We did that last night. Yeah, hopefully WWE will say a little something, or at least put a thing up in the front of the, you know, rest in peace, or this, show dedicated to whatever they do at the start of the show sometimes. Um, you look choked up, mate. Yeah, well, it's sad. This woman was younger than I was, and as far as divas, she was definitely one of my favorite from like around that time when they were doing the diva search. I mean, like I said, women's wrestling was so different. This is coming out of the post attitude era where they were still doing all the tits and ass stuff, lingerie, and still pretty disrespectful to women as far as I'm concerned. I mean, did we enjoy some of it? Yeah, but looking back on it now, compared to how women's wrestling has really stepped up, and they're not just being treated like uh a piece of meat in a swimsuit. It's so different now. Silver King died in the ring days ago. Yeah, that was tragic too. Jeez Louise. What a hot mess of a moment. I didn't talk about that on here much just because I don't know a lot about him, but yes, that is tragic. On a side note from that, MLW actually announced in a press release that I saw earlier today. I get the email newsletter. All their referees are getting trained in CPR just because of that now. So that if someone is suffering from something, they don't do a whole, oh, let's finish the match and keep it kayfabe. No, if someone's dying, you got to save their life. Don't kick them, roll them over, and pin a dead body. Damn it! That's all I'm going to talk about. That it's make love, and I'm not talking about trips on here. That's all BS, pretty much, anyways. Thomas says, "Oh, I remember when Mabel died, Tess died, WE didn't even make a note on their website. To me, this is just disrespectful." Yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah, Test was one of my favorites back then too. I loved Test. Thought he was awesome. There's a place for brawn panty matches. Maybe back then, not now. I mean, it's you know, just I don't know. It's a different time. You know, Ashley looked like a member of the beautiful people from TNA. Yeah, she kind of looked like what was her name? Velvet Sky, a little. Yeah. Would you like to see a brawn panties match on Monday Night Raw in memory of her? No, that's not a way to remember her. That's disrespectful. No. Oh, Angelina Love. What did I say? Oh, I said Velvet Sky. Are they dressed similar? Do you think TNA helped pave the way as far as women being wrestlers, or do you give more credit to WWE? I think I don't think you can give any one particular company the boost more. You can say that certain companies did things first, as far as like TNA back in the day did the first women's pay-per-view. That sure is notable, but you got to look at, there were classic shows in the 80s like Glow, you know, and now the lineage is being passed on now through a TV show on Access TV called Wow, Women of Wrestling. They already had one season. They're taping their second season this week as we speak, and that's going to air this fall. So there's a lot of different things over the course of the last decade that helped women's wrestling. TNA helped it. They have a great knockouts division. WWE was a little late, but now they're hiring really good women's wrestling talent. You know, they headlined WrestleMania. That was tremendous. Um, I mean, they're doing some positive things. WoW is a great show because it's like Glow. It's like a mixture of Lucha Underground and Glow. Um, Lucha Underground had great women's wrestling. It's where I started watching women like Taya and Evilise like that. That certainly brought a level of um, ladies wrestling to the forefront on TV that was different than anything else that just was kick ass. I mean, it's you know everyone's going to have their different opinion on saying, oh, this company did it first and that company is responsible. There's so many factors, honestly. There really are. Um, and I think that Ashley Massaro does fit somewhere in there. You know, you try to remember the positive things that she did in her career in the WWE, and unfortunately, we're not going to see the comeback that was supposed to be. Died because of drugs. I'm not gonna even guess that. Did you give up drinking beer? No, I just ran out. This is just a soda from earlier. Okay, Vinnie Mac. Best storyline for the women at the time was with Awesome Kong. Awesome Kong was only with the WWE for like a cup of coffee. So, all right. Well, we're going to get out of here. I appreciate everyone showing up, jumping in the chat, um, sharing their thoughts about Ashley Massaro. We're going to get out of here. Um, yeah, this was supposed to be Dark Side of the Ring season finale review, talking about Fabulous Moolah, the controversial Fabulous Moolah. Um, I watched it last night, and I didn't take any notes on it because there was a lot of components with it, and I want to rewatch it, write down some notes, give a um, proper review because I mean it's a tragic story. It's a very interesting story. So we'll be diving into that. Don't go me when you back on. I'm gonna try to get back on in a couple hours after rewatching this and review that. So not like I said, not how I was hoping to do this evening, but it is what it is. So but thanks for tuning in. Finally got YouTube working and we'll be back a little later. If you're watching this after the effect, please leave your thoughts about Ashley Massaro. What are some of your favorite moments of hers? What are you going to remember her for? Um, thanks for tuning in, folks. We'll see you a little later. Uh, a little later on tonight. Much love, all. Take care.